Born to Rule episodes 26 to 30, The Man Everyone Underestimated episodes 26 to 30 mark a dramatic turning point in Charlie's story. For years, people have judged him by what they could see. The ordinary clothes, the modest lifestyle, the live-in son-in-law, everyone considered insignificant. But little by little, the world around Charlie is beginning to discover that appearances can be dangerously misleading. The trouble at Darren's restaurant reaches a frightening level when Gavin discovers that the influence he has always depended upon is suddenly worthless. Determined to prove that his family still has power, Gavin contacts the head of the local police precinct, expecting him to intervene against Scarface and his men. Instead, Gavin receives devastating news. Scarface is connected to Blake. Blake works under Orville Hudson, and nobody wants to interfere. Then comes an even greater shock. Gavin learns that his father has already been fired from the M Grand Group after being accused of abusing his position for personal gain. The company's legal department has taken action, and the authorities have become involved. In a matter of minutes, the status Gavin had been boasting about disappears. Scarface wastes no time showing Gavin exactly how powerless he has become. Gavin is brutally beaten until the arrogant young man who had been throwing his family's name around is reduced to begging for mercy. But Scarface isn't finished. He turns his attention back to Darren and raises his demand from 20% of the restaurant to 40%. Darren knows that surrendering nearly half of his business would leave him working for the gang that threatened him. Terrified but determined, he refuses. Scarface pulls a knife. That is when Charlie finally speaks. Put the knife down. Scarface turns toward the seemingly ordinary man who dared to challenge him, and everything changes. The moment he recognizes Charlie, the gangster's confidence disappears. The knife falls from his hand, and Scarface drops to his knees, desperately apologizing. "Mr. Charlie, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were here." The entire room is stunned. This is the same Scarface who had just attacked Gavin without hesitation. Yet in Charlie's presence, he looks terrified. Even Charlie is initially surprised that Scarface recognizes him. Then, the connection becomes clear. Scarface works for Blake, one of Orville Hudson's men, and he had previously seen Charlie at the mansion. Orville himself knows enough about Charlie's position to fear crossing him, so a subordinate like Scarface certainly understands that Charlie is someone he cannot afford to offend. But Charlie has another problem. Claire is watching. When Claire asks how he knows Scarface, Charlie quickly distances himself from the criminal world. Scarface eagerly cooperates, insisting that Charlie does not personally know him and that he merely knows of Charlie through others. Scarface immediately reverses everything. Darren will surrender none of his restaurant. There will be no protection fee. Even more astonishingly, Scarface promises that Darren's restaurant will now receive his protection for free. All because Darren is Charlie's friend. The people who had previously looked down on Charlie now stare at him with disbelief and awe. Arya, who had been among those dismissing him earlier, suddenly cannot thank him enough. Charlie, however, treats the entire matter as though he has done nothing extraordinary. When Scarface nervously apologizes for beating Gavin, thinking Gavin might be Charlie's friend, Charlie calmly corrects him. Gavin is merely an acquaintance. Still, Charlie orders Scarface to take the injured man to the hospital rather than allow the violence to destroy Darren's grand opening. Once Scarface and his men leave, Charlie becomes the center of attention. Everyone has the same question. Who exactly is Charlie? Claire is beginning to wonder the same thing. Too many strange things have happened. There is the mysterious car that performs far beyond what it appears capable of doing. There is the valuable painting Charlie somehow obtained. And now dangerous men connected to Orville Hudson are practically bowing before him. Charlie carefully explains each mystery away. He tells Claire the car had supposedly been modified as a dealership test vehicle. He offers an explanation for the painting. As for Scarface, Charlie claims the man is connected to one of his friends and was simply being respectful because of that relationship. Claire senses that something does not completely add up, but Charlie sounds convincing enough that she eventually stops questioning him. Elsa, however, isn't convinced. She quietly watches Charlie and begins to suspect there is far more to him than anyone realizes. Rather than confronting him, she decides to observe him carefully and discover what secrets he is hiding. Meanwhile, Gavin's downfall becomes complete. His father's position is gone, legal trouble has descended upon the family, and the influence Gavin once proudly displayed has vanished almost overnight. But another mystery has captured the attention of Oris Hill. Someone has reserved the entire Sky Garden at the Aurelius Grand. Rumors spread everywhere. Who is the mysterious VIP capable of arranging something so extravagant? Could this mysterious person somehow be connected to the powerful tycoon everyone has been talking about? What nobody realizes is that the answer is walking quietly beside Claire every day. Their third wedding anniversary finally arrives. For their first two anniversaries, Charlie had little money. Their celebrations were simple, but he always found some small way to show Claire that she mattered to him. This year is different. Charlie asks Claire to dress elegantly and promises that he has something special planned. Claire is touched by his effort, but she has no idea how extraordinary the evening is about to become. When they arrive at the Aurelius Grand, Claire becomes suspicious. Surely Charlie couldn't have reserved the Sky Garden. Everyone knows. Some mysterious wealthy man has booked the entire place. Charlie cleverly tells her that their table is merely near the Sky Garden, joking that perhaps they might even catch a glimpse of the mysterious person who reserved it. Claire believes him. But before Charlie can reveal his surprise, an unwanted distraction appears. Claire encounters Bella Kaufman, her former college roommate. Bella had always been jealous of Claire. Even in college, she resented the attention Claire received and believed she deserved to be regarded as the more beautiful and impressive woman. Now, Bella arrives dressed to display her wealth and proudly introduces her husband, Victor Case, heir to a wealthy family. Instead of simply greeting her old roommate, Bella immediately begins measuring Claire's life against her own. She boasts about Victor's status and his platinum membership at the Aurelius Grand. Then she starts insulting Charlie, suggesting that he is too ordinary for such a sophisticated establishment. Claire tries to remain polite. Bella keeps pushing. She even suggests that Claire should divorce Charlie because a woman like Claire deserves someone wealthier and more accomplished. That crosses the line. Claire firmly defends her husband, but Bella's jealousy from their college days comes pouring out. She mocks Charlie's financial situation and tries to use Claire's marriage as proof that she has somehow surpassed the woman she once envied. Charlie remains unusually quiet, not because he is intimidated, because he is gathering information. He discreetly requests a background check on Bella. Within minutes, information begins arriving on his phone, information capable of destroying the perfect image Bella has created for Victor. Charlie starts revealing details from Bella's past that she desperately does not want her husband to hear. At first, she angrily accuses him of lying, but Charlie continues revealing information, including details surrounding how Bella met Victor and events that Victor himself knows are true. Victor's confidence in his wife begins to crumble. Bella goes from mocking Charlie to begging him to stop. Once again, the person everyone dismissed as powerless suddenly holds all the cards. And Charlie has another surprise waiting. Before the anniversary celebration, he had decided Claire needed a vehicle appropriate for her growing professional responsibilities. He initially intended to purchase a respectable business sedan, something luxurious without being excessively flashy. But when Charlie arrives at the dealership on his e-bike, wearing ordinary clothes, the sales staff immediately judge him. They assume he cannot afford anything. One salesman openly mocks him when Charlie asks about purchasing a top-of-the-line model. Instead of arguing, Charlie asks one simple question. How much commission would the salesman have earned? The answer is $10,000. Charlie calmly tells him, "You just lost $10,000. Then he walks out. Charlie goes directly to another luxury dealership, where he sees an even more expensive flagship vehicle. Still irritated by the treatment he received next door, he makes an impulsive decision. He buys it. No financing negotiations. No lengthy test drive. No begging for approval. He simply produces the money, completes the transaction, takes the keys, and drives away. Then Charlie pulls right back in front of the dealership that rejected him, places his e-bike into his new luxury vehicle, and leaves. The salesman who mocked him can only watch. His manager has seen enough. The salesman loses his job. It is another powerful lesson in these episodes. Charlie keeps encountering people who decide his worth before they know his identity, and they keep discovering their mistake too late. There is only one problem. Charlie has bought a vehicle far more expensive than anything Claire would comfortably accept. So, Charlie comes up with a ridiculous but clever solution. He changes the exterior badge so that the luxury vehicle appears to be a much less expensive model. Now, he just has to convince Claire. Before meeting her, Charlie remembers Darren's restaurant grand opening. Darren was one of the few classmates who treated Charlie well when Charlie had nothing, and Charlie has not forgotten that loyalty. He purchases an old painting as Darren's gift. The artwork is worth far more than Charlie intends anyone to know, but that is exactly how he wants it. Charlie has no desire to make Darren's celebration about his own wealth. When Charlie later picks up Claire and Elsa, Claire is stunned by the new car. Charlie tells her it is for her. Claire immediately worries about the expense. Charlie claims he purchased it with money he had quietly saved over the years and reminds her that, as a director, Having a respectable vehicle is now important, professionally. Elsa agrees. Claire finally accepts the gift, deeply touched that Charlie was thinking about her. She still has no idea what she is actually sitting in. The same secrecy surrounds Darren's painting. Charlie tells Claire he purchased it inexpensively at a vintage market. Claire assumes it cannot possibly be an authentic, valuable artwork and jokes that he may have overpaid. Charlie simply smiles. Because once again, Claire sees only the surface, and that is becoming the central tension surrounding Charlie. How long can he continue hiding who he really is? Episodes 26 to 30 show the balance of power beginning to shift dramatically. Gavin discovers that borrowed influence can disappear overnight. Darren learns that the friend everyone underestimated may be the most powerful ally he could possibly have. Bella discovers that mocking Charlie can have consequences she never imagined. And Claire and Elsa are beginning to notice that too many impossible things seem to happen whenever Charlie is around. Charlie is still pretending to be the ordinary son-in-law everyone thinks they know. But the disguise is becoming harder to maintain, because every time someone tries to humiliate him, another piece of his hidden power slips into view. And now, the greatest reveal is waiting just beyond the doors of the Sky Garden. Claire believes some mysterious wealthy man has reserved it for the woman he loves. She just doesn't know yet that she is that woman. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.